The library, once a haven of silence and focus, now vibrates with tension. Karen's accusations have drawn a small crowd, some whispering, some recording. Every eye is on the blind woman, who stands frozen in the center of the aisle, white cane in hand, utterly confused by the whirlwind of anger around her. She can sense the hostility in the air, hear the uneven breathing, the shuffling of anxious feet, and the low hum of murmurs. Security steps forward, trying to defuse the situation without escalating it further. Officer Ramirez, a seasoned guard with years of experience handling confrontational patrons, approaches first. "Ma'am, please step back and remain calm," he says, his voice firm but measured. Karen ignores him completely, her focus laser-sharp on proving her claim. "She's stealing! Do something!" she shouts, her face red and eyes blazing. The patrons' murmurs grow louder. Some are beginning to doubt Karen's accusation, sensing that something is off. The blind woman attempts to speak, her voice shaky but polite. "I'm legally blind. I don't even know what book I'm holding. Please, I haven't taken anything." Her words barely make a dent. Karen, undeterred, spins toward the crowd, raising her voice even higher. "I saw it with my own eyes. Security, act now!" Her tone is a mix of fury and moral superiority, the kind that freezes bystanders in uneasy fascination. Officer Ramirez exchanges a quick glance with his partner, Officer Liu. Both are tense, hands hovering near their tasers, ready to subdue if necessary, but hoping to avoid it. Every movement is calculated, because one wrong move could turn a misunderstanding into a physical incident. Karen continues to escalate, her gestures wide, her accusations relentless. Patrons start moving away, some whispering about calling the police, while others record the scene for social media. Suddenly, Karen takes a step closer to the blind woman, her fingers shaking with rage. "You think you can just steal here and get away with it? Not on my watch." The blind woman steps back instinctively, her cane tapping on the floor nervously. "Please, I haven't stolen anything." Her voice cracks with fear and frustration. Security decides they need to act before things spiral further. Officer Liu draws his taser and points it in a low, controlled stance, just a warning posture. Karen gasps, but instead of calming, she yells even louder, accusing both the woman and security of conspiring against her. The tension is palpable. Every bystander holds their breath. In this moment, the library teeters on the edge of chaos. One wrong word, one misstep, and it could erupt into a full-blown confrontation with tasers in play. The blind woman trembles, Karen shouts, and security braces themselves. The library's once quiet atmosphere has completely evaporated. Karen is now practically vibrating with fury, her shrill voice cutting through the air with every accusation. "This is theft! You can't just steal from the library," she screams, pointing aggressively at the blind woman. Patrons edge away, unsure whether to intervene. Some visibly horrified, others filming every second on their phones. The blind woman clutches her cane tightly, her body tense as she struggles to comprehend the surreal chaos surrounding her. Officer Ramirez steps closer, attempting to mediate, his voice calm but commanding. "Ma'am, step back, please. We just need everyone to stay calm while we figure this out." Karen ignores him entirely, turning her attention back to the blind woman. "Step back? No. She needs to be stopped. She's stealing!" Karen's insistence is relentless, her voice rising higher and higher, filling the entire aisle. The blind woman's voice wavers but refuses to be silenced. "I can't see. I haven't stolen anything," she says, her words tinged with both fear and frustration. The sound is barely enough to cut through Karen's furious tirade. The intensity of the moment escalates, and Officer Liu, standing beside Ramirez, shifts uneasily. Their tasers are drawn, but they remain cautious, knowing that an aggressive move could turn this already tense standoff into a disaster. Karen's fury seems almost uncontrollable now. She steps even closer to the blind woman, leaning in with a face twisted in moral outrage. "You think you can get away with this?" she shouts, her finger jabbing through the air, almost brushing the woman's shoulder. The blind woman instinctively steps back, cane tapping against the floor, but her movements are slow and uncertain, making her appear more vulnerable. The surrounding patrons are frozen in anticipation, some whispering, others holding their phones high, capturing what feels like the climax of an unfolding drama. Security stands firm, ready to act, while Karen's accusations have reached a fever pitch. She's completely convinced of her righteous cause, her energy escalating with every passing second. Then, a sudden pause. Everyone notices the blind woman's quiet, unwavering tone. "Please, I am not stealing. Please, someone, see the truth." Her calm amidst the storm contrasts sharply with Karen's escalating rage, causing a brief flicker of doubt among some onlookers. But Karen doesn't pause. Her voice rises again, louder than before, echoing through the library, her accusations now spilling into chaos. The tension in the library is now at its absolute peak. Security grips their tasers firmly. Karen's fury is unrestrained, and the blind woman remains frozen, trying to maintain composure in the eye of the storm. Every moment feels like it could explode. The tension in the library snaps like a rubber band. Karen's accusations have reached a crescendo, her voice booming through the high ceilings, each word charged with fury. "She's stealing! Stop her!" Patrons back away in alarm, some shielding their children, others frozen in disbelief. The blind woman stands at the center of it all, her cane trembling in her grip as she struggles to process the surreal storm erupting around her. Officer Ramirez makes the first decisive move. "Ma'am, step back! Security is here to handle this. Please, stay calm." Karen doesn't move an inch, her eyes blazing with moral certainty. "No, do something! Don't let her get away!" Her shrill demand reverberates throughout the library, drawing startled glances from everyone present. The air is thick with fear and adrenaline. Even the quietest corners of the building feel charged with electricity. Officer Liu, realizing the situation could spiral out of control, tightens his grip on his taser. "Warning shots will be deployed if she doesn't comply," he announces, keeping his stance low and controlled, taser aimed toward the floor as a show of authority rather than aggression. Karen gasps, but instead of calming, her energy escalates. She spins, pointing at the blind woman, her voice growing even louder. "Do you hear me? Stop her! She's a thief!" The blind woman shakes her head, her voice steady despite the chaos. "I'm not stealing. I can't even see the books properly. Please don't hurt me." Her words hang in the air like a fragile shield against Karen's storm. Patrons whisper, some realizing the woman's vulnerability, others frozen by the escalating standoff. Security braces for what could be the breaking point. Then, in a moment of tension so palpable it feels almost cinematic, Officer Liu deploys the taser, but not directly on anyone. The jolt hits the floor between Karen and the blind woman, a warning flash that makes everyone jump. Karen yelps, stepping back in shock, her face a mix of rage and disbelief. Some patrons murmur in relief that no one was physically harmed, while others record every detail, phones raised like witness cameras to history. Karen's fury doesn't dissipate immediately. She points shakily at the blind woman, screaming at the top of her lungs. But the display has shifted the dynamic. Security now holds firm authority. The patron's attention wavers from Karen's tirade, and the blind woman stands slightly steadier, bolstered by the intervention. The library is no longer just a place of reading. It has become a battleground of perception, fear, and moral outrage. The standoff, though partially diffused, leaves everyone on edge, unsure what will happen next. Karen's energy hasn't diminished, but the power dynamics have shifted. The library stands in stunned silence, the echoes of taser warnings still ringing in everyone's ears. Karen, trembling with a mixture of shock and fury, glares at the blind woman as if daring her to move. Her accusations have lost some of their punch. Security now holds firm, and the patrons are no longer passive witnesses. They're ready to speak up if necessary. The tide is slowly turning. Officer Ramirez steps forward, voice calm but authoritative. "Ma'am, we need to resolve this immediately. Let's figure out what's actually happening here." He gestures for Karen to lower her voice. Karen hesitates, lips quivering, unwilling to relinquish the moral high ground she's clung to so fiercely. I saw her take it. She's stealing," she stammers, the fire in her eyes now tinged with confusion and disbelief. Officer Liu carefully scans the aisle, checking the blind woman's hands and nearby shelves. "Ma'am, can you show us what you have?" he asks. The blind woman extends her hands slowly, revealing an empty grip. No books, nothing concealed. Her calm, steady tone contrasts sharply with Karen's panicked energy. "I haven't taken anything. I was just browsing as everyone does." A murmur runs through the patrons. Some glance at Karen, their expressions shifting from fascination to disbelief. A few mutter under their breath, "Wait, she's blind." The realization begins to dawn on Karen herself, though her pride prevents immediate acknowledgement. Security relaxes slightly, tasers lowered, but they remain vigilant, ready for any sudden outburst. Karen's face flushes deeper, her voice faltering. I thought..." Her words die in her throat, interrupted by the sound of a librarian stepping forward. "Everything's fine. the librarian says firmly. Nothing was stolen. You've made a mistake. Karen's finger, once pointed aggressively, slowly drops to her side. The blind woman remains composed, her breathing steady, her dignity intact. The crowd around them begins to disperse, some shaking their heads, others quietly chuckling at the absurdity of the scene. Karen stands frozen for a moment, the weight of embarrassment settling in. The adrenaline fades, replaced by the sting of public defeat. Security escorts the blind woman to a quieter part of the library, ensuring she's unharmed and calm. Finally, Karen mutters something under her breath, a feeble attempt to reclaim authority. But the moment has passed. The library returns to a semblance of normalcy, though the story of this chaotic confrontation will linger in patrons' memories and in videos circulating online for weeks. The blind woman quietly resumes her browsing, her cane tapping gently, a symbol of calm triumph over baseless accusation. Karen meanwhile retreats, defeated and humiliated, a cautionary tale of anger, assumption, and overreach. The library may have returned to silence, but the drama, the tension, and the lessons from this extraordinary confrontation will resonate far beyond these walls.